everyone, Shaelene McInnis here with Books in Line Accounting Services, Inc., with two of my very good friends, Robyn and Linda Simpson. They are with Empowering Business, Inc. The three of us have decided to combine forces as on a category on something we care very much about, which is cash flow. We've decided to start Cash Flow Club, teaching businesses how to understand their cash flow and improve their cash flow. And I'll explain why, first of all, and then we can all discuss cash flow. So this is part one of our many series on Cash Flow Club. I hope that you're watching and learning. So when it comes to businesses, when businesses are first starting up, the chances of a business still being successful and in business after 5 years, 80% of those businesses have failed. Only 20% have remained still viable and running. And in the next 5 years, years 5 to 10, of that 20%, 80% of those businesses will fail, which means that in the first 10 years, someone's starting a business, there's only a 4% chance that at the end of the 10 years, you're still up, running, and viable. And I think that we can all agree that COVID, the pandemic, has certainly made those numbers worse for a lot of different businesses. So the three of us have been discussing cash flow because we want the people that we work with, our clients, to have successful businesses. We've all loved being self-employed, and we certainly want our clients to be successful. If our clients are successful, we're successful. And being self-employed and losing those businesses, especially again during the pandemic, it can have terrible, just dire effects on people. It's resulted in marriages falling apart, people having mental distress and illness, so many things. And we work with so many people. We are unfortunately very aware of this. So we've decided to do something proactive and discuss cash flow with anyone who wants to listen and learn. And we're happy to do that now. So please, there's Robyn, Linda, me, Shaelene. So I just want to remind everyone, all of our contact information will definitely be included in the podcast. You can always contact any of us and we can introduce you to each other. Robyn and Linda work in mostly Western Canada. I'm mostly Eastern Canada. So, but between the three of us, we can help everyone who wants information on cash flow. We're happy to help.
Mm-hmm. You know, as a business owner, we tend to always put all of our life savings and everything. So it's not just when they fail. They're giving up so much. Like those entrepreneurs, they're giving up so much. I can't even imagine their savings, their homes they put on.
Yes, that's right.
There is so much that goes along with that. So,
and even more than that, they go to their mums and their dads and their brothers and their sisters and their best friend. And heck, even the guy that they don't know at the bar, they're saying to him, you know, I got a business. You want to invest? So when it fails, it's not just their hopes and dreams.
No.
It's not just their money. Sometimes I've known people that have taken money out of their kids' piggy banks to try and keep their business going. This is like not a little matter. And
no.
When that fails, the feeling of failure not only is your private feeling, it becomes the whole world. You were so excited when you were starting this business, and now when it's failing, everybody's trying to talk to you about it. It's a terrible time for people.
Exactly. And you take it so personally, right, Linda? When you're, and Robyn, you know, when you work for someone else, you're working for a large corporation. I know we all have. You leave the workplace behind when you go home, and that's it. When you are self-employed, as the three of us are, there is no separating work from life. It's all together. It's just absolutely mixed up like this. So you're right. And so when someone's business fails, people can take it extremely, extremely personally. And the biggest reason for failure in business is not understanding cash flow. Cash flow is by far, and the three of us have all been in accounting and bookkeeping businesses for years. We've all had many hundreds between all of us, if not thousands of clients who are self-employed. And we have seen this over and over and over again, where unfortunately many businesses fail due to cash flow. And that's why we've started Cash Flow Club. That's what we've discussed
And,
this.
Cash Flow Club really just shows sometimes the easy and the practical ways. It doesn't matter if you are just you and your spouse to if you have 30 employees. It's finding what works for you. But, how do you even start that? First,
Yes.
I think your biggest thing is to make sure you go find yourself a really good bookkeeper.
Yes.
And stay current. Get those documents into them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I'm so glad that you said that, Robyn, because of course we do a lot of accounting and bookkeeping, and we're always like, we have get us your information, not just for us because we want to get everything done on time, but because you need to know how your business is doing throughout the year, not just at the end of the year when it's tax time. I've had clients who come to me at the end of the year and go, well, I have no idea how I did. And they give you a banker's box full of papers. No. You want to know how is your business doing throughout the year. Every week, you always want to be able to go in and say, okay, what's going on? And so that is the first point to start with, Robyn. I completely agree, is have your books updated. Make sure you find yourself a decent bookkeeper or accounting professional who can keep your books up to date, that understands HST, GST, payroll, WSIB, employee health tax, someone who understands this and who can keep your books up to date. So then you can look and go, oh, okay, how am I doing this year compared to last year? For example, I'm going to turn this over to Linda. What would you have to say about that, Linda? Because that I think is just the biggest part of starting.
So if you're starting from scratch, or perhaps you've just bought a business, those are even scarier than when you start from scratch, because you've actually invested real money into purchasing them. You need to know what that is. You need to understand how to read a profit and loss statement. Your bookkeeper will create it for you. She also, or he, needs to explain to you how to read that. But comparison, if you don't have a budget, then at least compare it this month to last month, or this season to last season, or this year to last year. If your income is not going up, the question needs to be asked, why? And there might be a really good explanation. Maybe you're a yard maintenance guy and it's November, so there's no snow and there's no lawn to cut. So maybe November is not a good month for you. So if you analyze that to August, it's going to be down. But at least you know why it's down. Now, if your expenses are up and your income's down, that needs an explanation. But the biggest thing, I think, is getting the reports and analyzing them and to yourself. You don't have to explain this to anybody else, but as the owner, you need to say, this is up because of this, or this is down because of this.
Yes, that's right. Every Monday, this is what I do, and exactly what Linda's saying. I take 15 minutes on the Monday morning. It only takes me 15 minutes, and I look at my profit and loss. It's a statement that I use in QuickBooks, and so I can look at that and I can see what happened last week. How much money came in last week? How much money went out last week? And then I can look at month to date. Well, how much money came in this month and how much money has gone out this month? Then I can compare it. Then I can look year to date, January to today, how much money is coming in, how much is going out. And with a click of one button, I can compare it to last year. Go, okay, well, this is how much money came in last year, and this is how much money was going out. You can see line by line. I'll give you a perfect example. My rent this year has gone up 25%, my commercial rent. So if I, for example, I hadn't increased any of my prices, but I'm paying, and that's just commercial rent. So I haven't increased any prices, and we know with inflation, everything's gone up. Our tax programs have gone up. I have an IT department, of course, because we do taxes. We have a huge IT department that's gone up. All of these expenses are going up, and I need to be able to see from last year how much of these expenses gone up, and some have skyrocketed compared to a year ago. Merchant services, credit card fees, how much has that gone up compared to this year? And then you cannot price accordingly the work that you're going to do, whether you're in my field of accounting, if you're in construction, anything, unless you know what has gone up. Has WSIB gone up? That construction is the perfect field. WSIB, EI, CPP, how much is my share of paying all of these different things? Has that gone up? And being able to see what has gone up so that you can price accordingly. So this part one that we're talking about in Cash Flow Club, just going to give a quick summary. Know where your books are. Get them started. Make sure that you're caught up on your bookkeeping and stay up to date all the time. This is a business, not a hobby.
Monthly, at least monthly.
Yes.
You can't fix the mistakes you made if you're looking back 12 months past.
That's right. I have so many people that have come to us and they are so far behind and they don't know where to start. And we want to help, but we have to get them caught up first and then sit down and say, okay, now we know where you're at. Now you know how much you have to be charging and pricing, and now you can see where have your costs gone up. Where can you save money? So that's part one of the Cash Flow Club, right, Robyn?
I would like to challenge all of our listeners today to contact their bookkeeper or their accountant and say to them, I don't understand the profit and loss. I don't have a profit and loss. You just did my taxes for the last 20 years, but I never got a profit and loss. I don't even know what they're talking about. So let's start there. Let's get that started
completely.
And let's get you on the right track.
Yeah. Good. Robyn, did you want to add something there as well?
I was going to say, you know what? We all know the inflation at the grocery store. So if you even just take this into comparison, I know when I'm going to the grocery store, when I'm at the store, that the milk has doubled in price in the last 2 years. Well, now I'm cutting back somewhere else because my budget still is the same at the grocery store.
All right. That's a perfect example.
If you don't get those books done at least monthly, you're setting yourself up for failure. And Linda, you had mentioned talking to your accountant about your profit and loss and things. If you also wanted, we also have the Cash Flow Playbook. You can buy it on Amazon. Shaelene has one as well. You can get them all on Amazon. In there, it describes how to understand it and a breakdown.
Exactly.
Yes.
How to look at your reports. How do you look at your reports? And it's not, this is the thing, I think people are a little frightened or overwhelmed perhaps, but it is not an overwhelming thing. Like Linda said, speak to your accountant, speak to your bookkeeper. If you do not have someone qualified, contact any of us. We will give you the name of a qualified person who can help you. And we will make sure that they are teaching you. This is how you look at these reports. It is not a difficult thing to do. And I always say that knowledge is power. Knowledge is absolute power. And you have a business that you're running. We want you to be successful. You want to be successful as well. So we're hoping that you allow everything that we have to say to teach you and to help you to run a successful business.
And you just mentioned the qualified person. That's so true. Because if you do not have somebody qualified inputting that work, would you just going to a plumber? Would you just hire anybody off the street to do your plumbing? Not at all. We would all just be like, no, I'm getting my own plumber. I need somebody professional, somebody that knows what they're doing. So you need to flip that into your business going, yes, it might be a little bit more expensive. Yes, they might be, but you get what you pay for. And if they don't know how to put that information in correctly to give you the reports that you need to make those good business decisions, because that's what I'm asking is good business decisions here.
Right. And you can only make it.
I want to go back to the book. It is written in plain English. It doesn't have big fancy accounting terms in it. It doesn't have any of that. Everyone that I've shown that book to goes, this is like reading a novel or a storybook. It's not just dry material, and it is real basic.
And we are sharing real life examples. We have all been in the accounting field between all of us. Oh my God, dozens of years. I hate to say that and show my age, but whatever.
Don't say dozen. If we take a dozen divided by 3, we're fine.
Just a few years. but we're using real life examples, real life people saying, hey, you know what? This person did this. I'll give you an example. 2 weeks ago, a gentleman came, he wanted to become a client for him and his wife. He's decided he wants to save all kinds of money by doing his wife's bookkeeping. He is not a bookkeeper. He is in mergers and acquisitions. Actually, I actually remember that. After he told me what he had done already, I pointed out to him that he had already lost $35,000 in actual cash, just so because he hadn't hired a professional who knew what they were doing. Instead, he decided he was going to save money by doing it himself, and he cost his wife $35,000. So yes, I will talk about that another time, but I'm just giving you an example. I say to my realtor clients, I have a lot of clients who are realtors, I'm not buying and selling my own house, literally leaving money on the table. If I have a leak of a faucet, do you think I'm actually going to try to fix that myself? Oh my goodness, no. If my lights aren't working, I'm going to call an electrician, hire someone who knows what they're doing to help you get started, to understand your business so that you can be successful. And that's why the three of us are here doing this. So this is part one. Lots more to come.
Yes. There is a lot more to come.
There's a lot more to come. Tune in next time for another.
Tune in.
Thank you very much.
Tune in for part two, where we're going to start talking about increasing the quantity of inbound cash. There's so many ways to increase the quantity of inbound cash, and so many of them are so much more simpler than you realize. But once you start to put these into place and make a habit of it, then you're increasing your income. And that's what we're here to help with. Mm-hmm. Right?
Okay. Yep. To make every other business owner out there be successful.
Everyone. We want you to be successful. Thank you. Again, if you're interested, contact us. You're going to have all the podcast information. You want to know more about our Cash Flow Club, the workbook. It's an excellent workbook. It will help you figure out exactly where you stand, where you want to go, come up with great ideas. So stay tuned for part two, Cash Flow Club overview part two. Looking forward to seeing everyone soon. Robyn, Linda, is there anything I've missed out on?
Oh, they'll have to tune in. We've missed lots, but we've done that intentionally.
Come for part two. We'll see you very shortly. Again, part two, increasing the quantity of inbound cash. We will see you all shortly. Thank you all so much. Looking forward to everyone having a very successful business.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.